according to everybody else, this is a place where you can access power right here. Up here is where I want to drop that power port in. I don't have the Honda one, so when I put that up in here, this is actually going to be dangling inside. So I'm going to stick the small wire right here. So I'm going to buzz a little hole in there that's just big enough for this to come out, and I'll line that through there. I'm just going to Dremel my way in there. Ooh, that's hot. And that's it. I'm already through. Since this stuff gets heated up and soft, I'm going to let that cool, knock it off, and go again and make it all the way through. Ow. And that is that. That's all I want out of that. I don't want it to be extra big. I'm not, and I've kept that small. If I ever want to do one that actually, you know, bolts into place and doesn't move, I can make that bigger and go from there. But for this, I just want it big enough that I can get this in and out. This worked just fine for powering my phone on the way back. Did not work for powering my GPS, and I think that it might have been because this just wasn't hooked up right or something, or it was not getting a good connection. But what I want to do with this is put it in there, and then I can just leave it closed. I had my phone and stuff in here anyway, listening to Bluetooth. So I'm gonna go right through that little hole. So then I'm gonna run this down here. I kind of want to leave enough slack so that if I have to, I can pull this out and hook my stuff in and then put it back in out of the way. So I'm going to set that down on the far side just to make sure I don't take away too much of that. And then I'm going to zip tie this to a few points so that it stays in place. Okay, so there we have it, coming out of there, leaving enough slack so that I can pull this out to fiddle around with it if I need to. And then I'm in. I'm going to leave this long just in case I ever need to use it to charge. That's what it's there for also. Okay, now I want to fiddle around with this a little bit and see what's going on there. I'm going to pop that off and take a look at it. There's a little doohickey that needs to be raised up, and then this should pop out. There we go, just like that. So this is made so I can run different wires in here and power them in that, which is really cool because I could power multiple things. There's 6 holes in there, only 2 of them being used. But I'm not going to use that many things, so I'm thinking I'm going to hardwire right into there and just eliminate this whole thing. Okay, I removed this just by pinching the back side of that and yanking it out. And then I'm going to hook into those 2 for power that will come on when I key the ignition. That's the next step. So for this, thanks to Audi 555, the green is negative, the purple with the red line is positive, and that's all we need to know to hook up our Garmin power port to that. This is the Garmin USB bare wire power port. I ordered it from Amazon the other day. It came really fast, and I think it was like 14 bucks. There's nothing in it to tell you anything about it. It's got plenty of length to it, which is nice. So I can route it up there where I want, up on the handlebars. But this is what I want to wire in to these. Red, positive, green, negative. I'm going to hook those two together. And there's a fuse in line. Then I'm going to run that up there. I'm going to use these connectors instead of this. I'm going to eliminate this bulky thing. I'll keep it in case I want to use it for some other time. But I do want to be able to disconnect this if I decide I just don't want to run it anymore. So that's how I'm going to connect it together.
Is a puppy bone? So that's like years away. Don't you know?
Don't you know?
I was talking to you.
I was talking to you.
Well, I was talking to you.
Well, okay.
Excuse me, Mom.
Where are you going?
And are you?
Okay. So I'm just stripping off the outside of a couple of these wires. And I'm alternating these so you can't screw up and put it on backwards. And then that's going to go over like that. And hopefully provide some protection. And then I hook that on like that. Now the hardest thing to do is to remember to put this on. So this male end has got to go on this one. And the little plastic doohickey rubber boot has got to be put on first. I mean, you can get it over it, but it's such a pain. So we're going to do that. You okay? Sounds like you're busting stuff. Am I? Bring it over here and I'll help you.
You see, you have to get both.
Okay, on this purple-red positive side, gonna do the same thing. Put this on first.
Purple-red positive side.
Put that on first, and then you might need room.
Ew. How do you open it?
Now you've got these two on. You've got protection for this one, so if you take them off, they're not going to be shorting each other out or something. Pull that up there where it's supposed to go, right there. And this one's supposed to go all the way up to the edge. That way when the other part slips over it, like this, it's going to totally seal around this thing. It clicks on, and then that covers up. Got a nice little seal there. Same thing on this positive, only just the opposite. It's going to go in, it's going to click, and it's going to seal. So now we've got that wired up and sealed. Now I'm just going to try to route this sucker where it won't get into trouble. Make it roll with what other wires we got going on here. Okay, so I'm hooked in back there, running down through there, across, back down through here. We're going to zip tie all these off, and then zip tie this in here too, so it doesn't vibrate or make a mess. Okay, now if I hooked that all up correctly, when I turn the key, I should have power to the GPS. And there we go. That's pretty sweet. That is just what I missed on my trip here. Pretty excited. That is awesome. Now I have a power port in here for charging, and mine has a spot for 2. And I have GPS powered to the key through that little thing there. Now I'm just going to knock off all these little twigs and put it back together the opposite of how I took it apart.